quickly want to explain the importance of removing clutter. I think it's one of the most important things you have to do in order to achieve the goals you want to achieve, or just live a good life and do the things that you want to do. Because especially in this day and age with so much opportunity, so much leverage, you can literally do whatever you want to do. But there's also so many distractions, and because you can do everything, you have to make a decision, choose where you focus on. And removing clutter is just all you have to focus on, and that will put you into the right direction. You have to see it like this, just narrowing your focus more and more and more. And you do that first by removing the clutter. Like everything that you know is not helping you towards what you want out of life or towards your goals. Those are like the first things you need to get out of your sights, so you can get your sights more narrow towards what's actually important to you. So that's really what I want to discuss quickly in this video. Like removing clutter, that's all you have to focus on. Remove what's not important, because that will make sure you will end up with what's important. So that's what I just explained. You have this wide range of your focus. You get rid of everything on the sides, that's the clutter, and you get more narrow to focus on what's important for you. Eliminating distractions is the biggest leverage here. So to start, what do you need to remove is you need to remove lesser goals. It's a concept that I got out of this book, Be Your Future Self Now, but also a lot of other people. This is from Benjamin Hardy, but also a lot of other people talk about. But I could really relate to the way he explained it. Because what he said was, when you know your contextual purpose, the thing you want to focus your life on right now, so you don't have to figure out your life's purpose or whatever you're going to devote your whole life to, but you need to know a general direction. What's like the vision? How do you want to see your life in 10, 20 years? If you know that, what are your 1 year objectives? What is the contextual purpose? What's the thing you need to focus on now to move closer to that thing or that life that you want in 10 years, whatever you can imagine. And in that, I recommend focusing on maximum of 3 things. Less is even better, especially if it's important to you to make a lot of progress in a certain area, but max 3, because that's the whole thing. All these other things are the lesser goals. And we are kept from our goal not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. So you can have those 3 main things that are really important to you that will get you to where you want to be, like your contextual purpose right now. But you also have these other goals that you also kind of like, and they are easier, and you're going to focus on that because that has a more clear path. That's maybe easier, so you're being kept from your main objective, your most important goals, by a clear path towards lesser goals. So the first thing is really important, that once you know what your main goals are, you have to remove pretty much everything else. And you can still live a balanced life for that. So for example, for me, my contextual purpose was more building a new social circle, really focusing on fitness and just sports, and my finance business. And for me now, my contextual purpose for the next 12 months, I had to relate that to my main goal, which is starting a family and having a business that makes an impact. So what's my goal right now? Or well, my contextual purpose, goal, whatever you want to call it. So the first one is to build a educational business. The second one is my friendships, and that it's mainly focused on like my strong, close friendships. Like right now, it's not my goal to meet hundreds of new people. And that's what you have to know. Like, what's your goal? Is your goal to network a lot? Is that right now the contextual purpose? Is there a certain type of person you have to be more around of? Or do you just have to focus on what matters for you, and you want to focus on, like me, on a few very important friendships for you? And for me, a thing with those friendships and just the people that I love, I want to have, cool trips and adventures. Because if I think about the life that I want to live, that or have lived, then it also contains adventures and cool stuff with the people that I love and my friends. And then the third one, I want to start a family, so I want to attract my life partner. So my third one is becoming husband worthy, and getting into a relationship with someone that potentially will be my future partner and that aligns with the family vision that I have. So those are the main things for me, because I could relate that to like my big goals in life. So I think you just have to think about that. What are then the most important things for you to focus on right now? And that really depends on which stage you are in life. And everything else are lesser goals. And lesser goals you have to remove. So then the second one is unhealthy food in the house. The worst thing that you can have is unhealthy food in the house and constantly having cravings. And the cravings come from eating unhealthy food. Trust me, the easiest thing to stop eating unhealthy food is to just have no unhealthy food in the house. Unhealthy food in the house will cause you cravings, and that will be distractions, and it will probably be a lesser goal. It will probably not be something you want to do. So remove that. I recommend having a grocery list and just order groceries online. At a lot of stores it's free now, or you have to maybe pay a small amount, but it's just worth the time you save, and you will just not buy stupid stuff because you will buy the same thing over and over again. Another one is having a mess in your house. Literally remove clutter. So remove clutter in your physical environment, because if you have clutter in your physical environment, you also have clutter in your head. So if you're just a messy person yourself, get a cleaner, or take on the identity of someone that says, I am someone who keeps my places tidy, who keeps my desk clean, who keeps the house clean. For me personally, we went from having a cleaner 2 times a week to now having it 1 time a week. So I had to change something in myself, because every time the cleaner came 2 days later, there would be stuff all around, because I would just never clean it up. So I had to change something in myself. All right, I like it when it's clean, and now only the cleaner comes 1 time a week, so I have to change something in myself. And I just kept telling myself, I am someone who keeps his place tidy. I am someone who keeps his place organized, and now the place is pretty organized. And every time now when I cook, I directly clean all my stuff. I directly put everything into the dishwasher. I don't leave it hanging around. At the end of the day, the things that I maybe did not put away, I will put them away. At the end of the day, my desk, I will clean my desk up again, so that the next day I come here, it's clean. So get a cleaner, or make sure that you do it yourself, because clutter in your physical environment means clutter in your head. The next one, which I think is very important, is having to keep up with the latest sport results. I have here, but fill in whatever. Having to keep up with ... You have to decide where your attention goes, where your focus goes. Like, at the end of the day, it's all clutter. If you want to keep up with Formula One, you want to keep up with the Champions League, you want to NFL, whatever people watch, with some other sports, cricket, maybe you watch some tennis. Like, if you want to keep up with all these things, you have to realize that's clutter. You keep it to your mind. It's like a decision you make to put your attention there instead of the things that really matter for you. Maybe it really matters for you. So it's like a decision you have to make for yourself. But at least for me personally, like years ago, I was watching every weekend the Formula One races, because I really like racing. So I was following that. And then I was following the Spanish competition, because I was supporting Real Madrid. Then you also had like the Dutch football competition, so you would also follow that. And it's like, it's something that's in the back of your mind. It's for example with Formula One, it's like now it's 24 weekends a year. It's like, oh, there's a race on this, and you think about it. Oh, race, what time is the race? Have to keep up to date with it. Oh, what did the qualifying do? How did the training go? If you really like something, I don't think it's necessarily bad, or you have to stop all these things, but just be aware of it, that is something that's getting your attention and taking your attention away from your contextual purpose, the thing that you actually want to work on. So I would say decide the few things you want to keep up to date with and let go of the rest, because otherwise you're sacrificing the things that you actually want to focus on. Then the next one is avoid the news, avoid politics, avoid just general gossip, drama, or negativity. Like, you don't have to keep up to date with this influencer stuff. You don't have to know which terrible thing is going on at the other side of the world. It's the same with the sports results. The sports results, you don't have to know everything that's going on. Like, just focus on the things you want to focus on. Here was that, like, just avoid it all. Just make a decision, or you go do something about the thing. Because a lot of times what people are so caught up about is something in politics, something in the news about some group doing something or climate change or whatever. And I would really suggest that you make a decision, or you go do something about it. Like if you hate a thing in the world, or you're against something or whatever, climate change, whatever you care about, like go do something about it, or just let it go. But make a decision. Like don't get caught up in like all these negative things and all this drama that's going on. Oh, this influencer is having beef with that influencer. Oh, that weird country is attacks that weird country, or it's like, one, it distracts you from like your goals or just being present with the people you want to be present with. Like it are always the broke or miserable people who are up to date with this. Just let it go. Like you don't have to know. Just avoid it. Avoid it at all costs. Um, I will later make a video about like all the tools you can use to protect yourself for this shit. The next thing to do is to remove things you would worry about or you have to make decisions about. And this comes down to decision fatigue or decision making. You have to realize you only have so much mental power every day, and every time you have to make a new decision or you have to think about something, and that's also where we first got to these things. Like if you already avoid all those things, that's already way better because you have way less to think about. Um, but you want to minimize the amount of decisions you have to make during the day on the non-important stuff. So what I would suggest you to do is to make decisions now that will save you many decisions later. If every day you wake up and you have to decide what you're going to eat, then instead of having to think about the next problem you have to solve in your business, you're thinking about making a decision of like, oh, with breakfast, what do I have in the house? Don't really feel like eating this. Maybe I'm gonna get a croissant at the cafe. Or dinner, oh, I don't have the food in the house. Am I gonna make a steak or am I gonna get that? Like, it's just, instead of focusing on what you want to focus on the next problem in your business or whatever is going on in your life, you're thinking about what the fuck you're gonna eat. So it's good to have a rough daily routine. Like I never follow strictly a daily routine, but it's good to know which times you are the best at doing something. For me, in the morning, it's best to do focused work or like intellectual work, decision making, deep thinking. In the afternoon, I'm usually very low energy, so or at least mind wise. So I work out, I eat most of my food in the afternoon, and I keep that time a bit to chill. And in the evening, I do more admin stuff and calls or just social things. And then it's good to have a diet, eat roughly the same things every day, wear roughly the same things every day, and get rid of stuff you don't use/wear. You should make less decisions in that. It's so freeing when you know what you like. And this is not about making your day boring as possible. It's just you have to be aware that every decision that we make that drains our energy, and you only have a certain amount of brain capacity. So you have to see it as like brain points. So that's what I just try to explain. Let's say you start the day with 100 brain points, and you have to decide what you're going to eat. That already costs you, let's say, 10 brain points. So then you go to the rest of the day with 90 brain points. And then you have to decide what you're going to wear to the gym. All right, you go to the gym, you come back from the gym. Then again, you have to decide what to eat. Again, it costs your brain points. Then again, you have to decide what you're going to wear for the day. Again, lose your brain points. And when you can just make already some rough decisions that you can repeat, it just saves so much brain power, brain points to then use on the big task in front of you. So yeah, you should not have to think too much about what you eat, what to wear. Have some basic guidelines. Just have a few go-to outfits that you use. Like I don't wear the same every day, but well, for the gym, for example, I wear the same every single time. Like I have my white shoes, white socks, black shorts, and then a white t-shirt, or yeah, now it's usually a white t-shirt or a black t-shirt. It's always the same. It's the exact same outfits. All these items I have multiple times, and it's so easy. I never have to think about what I'm gonna wear to the gym. I have an outfit that I like, and I wear it every single time. And the same with my day to day. I have a few go-to outfits, and it's usually based on the weather, what I choose, or the occasion. This is also with messages, especially for your business. Like, just check them a few times a day. Turn off your notifications and track your messages a few times a day. Because then, when you are actually thinking about answering your messages, you can then be in the state of answering messages and just answer them all the time, instead of you're focusing on something, a message pops up, you have to make a decision. Am I going to answer it now or answer it later? Half an hour later, another message. Am I going to answer it now and answer it later? It's good to batch this. So yeah, what I started doing is I started wearing a lot of the same things. So for my workouts as runs, I almost wear the same thing. And also for my meals, I have like 4 meals that I basically eat every single day. And then I have a little bit of calories left, and that's whatever I feel like eating on that day. But I still have the flexibility to, if I want to swap a meal or eat out, I can do that. Yeah, I just quickly talked about like this brain power and how much like brain points you can see it. But the healthier you are, the more brain power you have. So eat cleaner, have less stress. So quickly to recap the lifespan of decisions, make a decision now that lasts longer. So you can decide now what you're going to eat and when you're going to eat every single day. That doesn't mean that that's for the rest of your life. But if right now, I have these fitness goals, I need to eat so many calories, it's like, all right, every single day I'm going to eat this. And then you can still swap some meals day to day if you feel like it. But if not, you know exactly what you're going to eat that day and roughly at which times. This is a decision that can probably last for 2 or 3 months. Meal prep services are great, but you can also just make a meal plan for yourself, meal prep yourself, or have a mate do this for you. Because really, if you do this, the amount of time and mental energy that you will save with having a fixed meal plan and having an assistant. So I've right now a cleaner, a mate. So I right now have a mate that makes my meals every single week, prepares them, puts them in containers, do for 2 or 3 days in the fridge and the rest in the freezer. And like every day I have these meals ready. I order my groceries, so the groceries come here the day before. She comes, she makes all my food, is ready, so I don't have to think about. Well, the only thing I have to think about is ordering the same stuff every single week, and that's what I do. And then I still switch it up with sometimes I eat a breakfast at the cafe, sometimes I eat dinner with friends, but I always have to have the meals prepared at home. So if I just eat at home, I always have the meals there. I don't have to make them. Or well, maybe I will make a steak myself or make some eggs myself, but they are also there. I know, I don't have to think about it. Similar to a point that I made earlier about unhealthy foods in the house, is to just remove bad food in general, which will be easy when you remove bad food in the house, because truly, like, it's not. A lot of people think that when you start eating really healthy, you have sometimes still this craving and you have to allow yourself to satisfy that. But it's the opposite. Like, the less unhealthy food you eat, the less cravings you will have. And the more unhealthy you eat, the more cravings you will have. If you eat clean every single day, whole day, you don't have this craving for chocolate or other sweet stuff. Like, very, very little. And that's about the craving side. Just eating clean will improve your brain capacity and just how you feel so much. And like, most people don't know the effect that certain foods have because they don't know how it is to only eat clean. I recommend focus mainly on eating meats, vegetables, eggs, nuts and fruits. Um, and I also add rice to here. Well, also potatoes, but potatoes are, I think, considered a vegetable. That's most of my diet. And then as a last thing, like, just get rid of everything you don't use. as a general rule, if it's getting your attention, even very small, but it doesn't contribute to your long-term goal or just your happiness in general, like just remove it, get rid of it. Like you don't need it. So an example, for example, for me uh, is Instagram. Like if you don't post on Instagram, if you don't have the goal to grow it, to get a benefit out of it, like there is no point in using it other than a texting platform. Um, like what are you gonna do? Just check what other people are doing and feel bad about it? There never have been someone that was happy after 30 minutes of looking at reels or looking at how good other people's lives uh, are than before that. Social media and the news are the main things in this. Just this is for every social media. Like I just think if it's also here have it as a separate point. If it's a social media platform that you just don't use yourself to or interact with people or just to post yourself to get something out of it, and you're just only looking at other people, I really think you should just not use it. It's not benefiting you, because except for long form YouTube, like you're also not learning from it. So I think social media is great to connect with people, but if you're not using a certain platform to do that, then it's not worth it. Like you're not learning from any. I would argue you're not learning from basically any other platform than long form YouTube, and even from long form YouTube, you only learn when you're like actively studying something. Everything else you will forget. Just go look at like this productive reel you ever saw that you saved. Just go look at your saves. Like, can you remember any of those, or did you do anything with one of those? Like, you're just not gonna implement these things. Like the videos are too short. You're not focused when you look at it. Like, you don't get anything out of it. So I think social media is great when you actually use it for studies or for YouTube or to connect with people. The platforms that you don't use for that, like get rid of it. And just in general, use it for those things and not just to scroll. So yeah, if it doesn't influence you, you should burn it. That's just with all the news that has nothing to do with where you live or your specific industry. You don't have to know, and it's the same with just people. Just for most people, you don't have to know what's going on in their life. You don't have to know. It doesn't affect you, so just don't let it enter your brain. Just push it away. Be be okay with just be okay with being uninformed. Like just be okay. Like the things that are real important, like people will tell you. So that took me a bit longer than expected, but I hope that the point is really clear that like one of the best things you can do to achieve the goals that are actually important to you is to remove clutter. Is to remove the goal, is to remove all the other goals, so to focus on the goals you want, and then just remove clutter, remove bad food, remove mess in your house, so physical mess and just mess in your head. Remove the amount of things you have to be up to date about. Remove the amount of news, politics, gossip, drama, negativity you get showed. Um, like just remove things that you have to make constantly new decisions about, make decisions that last longer in terms of what you eat, what you do, when you do it, what you wear, and it could even be for other things. Just in general, get rid of everything you don't use and you don't need. It will not only make you happier, you will get so much faster to the things that you want out of life, and you can actually focus on the things that are important for you. If you can just remove everything that's unimportant, you only have left what is important. So I hope this helped. Go make those decisions. Go make those decisions that last long. Make these changes. You will just go forward so much faster. All right. I'll see you in the next one.